Hello, everyone. Today you will hear a brief retelling of the first two episodes of the series The Act. Its plot is based on real events. Springfield, 2008. After Hurricane Katrina, Dee Dee Blanchard and her 14-year-old daughter Gypsy were left homeless. A charity organization gave the family a new house where they had just moved in. The girl, completely shaved bald, sits in a wheelchair wearing huge glasses. Her mother controls every word she says. Gypsy calls her mother her best friend. Dee Dee shaves her daughter's head again, then moves her from the sink into the wheelchair. Gypsy has a feeding tube in her stomach. Dee Dee gives her only liquid food, mixed with medications through the tube. At night, Gypsy has to sleep wearing an oxygen mask. The family's medicine cabinet consists of dozens, if not hundreds, of drugs. Dee Dee gives her daughter this or that medication depending on her mood. Next door lives a girl named Lacey. She couldn't convince her mother to go meet the new neighbors, so she went alone, dressed all in pink. Gypsy watches cartoons and draws a prince. She immediately becomes interested in Lacey because she never had any friends before. Lacey volunteers at the local hospital, where they sometimes do makeovers for patients. Why not put some makeup on Gypsy? The girl happily agrees. Gypsy reacts excitedly and asks if Lacey has a boyfriend. She says that she used to do makeup for cosplay too. She loves dressing up as Disney princesses. But from the corner, Dee Dee watches the whole process tensely. Gypsy is delighted with her new look, but her mother immediately soaks a rag and demands she wash this nonsense off her face. She's too young for that kind of stuff. Tears well up in Gypsy's eyes. She wants to be like everyone else, but her mother won't let her. The next day, Dee Dee and Gypsy go outside to greet Lacey and her boyfriend. Their names are Mel and Shelley. Dee Dee tells them that Gypsy had her salivary glands removed, that she has epilepsy, paraplegia, heart murmurs, and anemia. According to Dee Dee, her daughter will never be able to take care of herself. Lacey offers Gypsy a Coke, but Dee Dee screams that she is allergic to sugar. At home, the woman tells Gypsy terrible stories about anaphylactic shock, which would happen if she ever drank even a sip of soda. Later, Dee Dee takes Gypsy to the mall to buy another pink thing. Gypsy asks for a necklace, but Dee Dee tells her to steal it, while no one is looking. Gypsy obeys. The witness to this theft turns out to be Mel. Dee Dee becomes worried that the neighbor might report her to the police. She wants to talk about it, but at that moment, Shelley is visiting. By the way, these neighbors, together with other volunteers, helped build the house for the disabled girl and her mother. Mel hints that she didn't like what she saw today. At home, Gypsy doesn't have her own computer and is only allowed to use her mother's laptop. She immediately searches for words like boyfriend and kiss. She offers her mom to make pizza, but it turns into a disgusting liquid mixture blended with milk and poured directly into her stomach through the tube. To befriend the neighbors, Dee Dee organizes a party. She walks around with a jar, collecting donations for her daughter's supposed eye surgery. Children surround Gypsy, who is dressed strangely, as always. She is much more interested in Lacey and her boyfriend. In the evening, Gypsy rides her wheelchair over to them, but they are leaving for the movies. Naturally, she can't go with them. On the table lie tempting cupcakes. When her mother is not watching, Gypsy tries to taste one. Just then, Mel arrives, the guest for whom the whole party was arranged. Dee Dee tries to blame the theft on her disabled daughter, but Mel doesn't believe her. Then Dee Dee begins to cry, claiming that Gypsy doesn't have long to live and that they have no money. At that moment, she sees her daughter with a cupcake, knocks it out of her hands, gives her an injection, and rushes her to the hospital. There, she insists that another 5 minutes and Gypsy would have died. Mel arrives at the hospital, returns Dee Dee's forgotten wallet, and suggests forgetting this unpleasant situation. She herself is a single mother and doesn't want to make their lives harder. We move to 2015. The Blanchard house is surrounded by police tape. Rooms are filled with hundreds of stuffed animals. In the bedroom, detectives find Dee Dee Blanchard stabbed to death, but Gypsy is nowhere to be found. Back to 2008. Before bed, Dee Dee cuddles with her daughter as always, then takes Xanax. She had just received a check for $1,500. They sleep together in the same bed. At 11 at night, Gypsy removes her mask, stands up easily, and goes to the fridge. She wants to take a risk and test whether she really has a sugar allergy. Whipped cream from a can brings her no harm. She had overheard at the hospital that her mother was already giving her medicines full of sugar. That means she can safely eat sweets. She also feels her body aching from sitting all the time. But her mother catches her walking and immediately orders her back into bed, demanding she put the mask on. Gypsy falls asleep with tears in her eyes. 2015 again. Neighbors try to recall the endless list of Gypsy's illnesses. How could she have escaped in such a condition? In 2009, Gypsy drinks Coke straight from the bottle, eats ice cream by the tub, and devours candy by the handful, all while watching makeup tutorials. Soon she receives a letter. Gypsy has been named Child of the Year in Springfield. Nothing surprising, her mother had written such heartbreaking applications on her behalf. But soon Gypsy learns what toothache is. Dee Dee claims her daughter's teeth are ruined due to high stomach acidity. The gastroenterologist doesn't believe she ever had her salivary glands removed, since Gypsy swallows food perfectly fine. The tube could easily be removed. The girl is thrilled, but her mother insists on finding another, more agreeable doctor. Eventually, the doctor prescribes only antacids. Later, a pediatrician quietly wonders whether any of Gypsy's supposed illnesses were ever confirmed. In the waiting room, Dee Dee steals a stack of prescription pads. I don't need the tube anymore, Gypsy thinks. But her mother doesn't agree. From now on, she will speak to doctors only herself. Meanwhile, in 2015, detectives examine Dee Dee's dead body, while neighbors wonder who could have wanted to kill her. Back in 2009, one of Gypsy's teeth falls out while brushing. She panics. In the morning, Dee Dee prepares a cocktail of 7 medications, blended into a thick liquid, and injects it into her daughter's stomach. Gypsy watches girls playing in the yard. Dee Dee finally allows her to approach them. In their room, Gypsy sees a puppy and is overjoyed. The girls notice her terrible teeth. Gypsy admits she secretly eats sweets at night. She's afraid her mother will find out. Dr. Lakshmi Chandra calls other physicians who treated Gypsy to learn the truth. A social worker visits the Blanchard home after receiving a complaint about Gypsy's safety. Dee Dee forces her daughter to swallow bitter medicine, leaving her drowsy. The social worker ignores Dee Dee's manipulative sobbing and inspects the house. Dee Dee left stolen prescription pads on the table by mistake. The paperwork for the house and its insurance is in different names. She blames it on confusion after Hurricane Katrina. The visit becomes a huge stress for Dee Dee. She covers the windows with plastic film so no one can look inside. Suspicious of Mel, she pressures her again, but the neighbor swears it wasn't her. Later, Gypsy is taken to the dentist. Still under sedatives, she learns that her teeth will not be treated but all extracted. She is devastated and cries. She wakes up at home, her face swollen, realizing she has no teeth left. Sitting in the bathtub, toothless, she weeps bitterly. But her mother insists everything is fine. After surgery, Gypsy's face is bruised, but Dee Dee prepares her for another award ceremony. She will show off her daughter no matter what. Before going on stage, Dee Dee finally gives Gypsy dentures. Why did she torture her so long? Under the spotlight, Gypsy is wheeled on stage to receive a $5,000 award. Taking the microphone, she sings in a squeaky voice about love, while her mother proudly sings along. Later, Dr. Chandra meets Gypsy alone and explains that she has no sugar allergy. She even offers her a Coke. Perhaps many of the other diagnoses are also false. Fast forward to 2015. Lacey confesses to her mother and later to police that Gypsy had a secret Facebook account. Through it, she made friends and it seems even found a boyfriend. At home, Gypsy places yet another unnecessary stuffed animal on her bed. She no longer wants to sing along with her mother and locks herself in her room. Dear viewers, if you would like to hear the continuation of this story about Gypsy Blanchard and her healthy family relationships, please let me know in the comments. See you soon.